Welcome to this series I'm doing in which I try to answer commonly asked questions from the internet, and a lot of people seem to be searching event photography jobs. So I have a few thoughts on that. I don't really think you're going to get much of a return if you search for event photography jobs. I could be wrong. I'm not looking for one. I have mine. But if you're really looking to become an event photographer and you are looking to be hired rather than go out on your own, I think the best way to do it is to actually just call event photographers, especially event photographers you want to work with. I recently got one of those calls and I felt for the kid, and I didn't want to be rude, but I wanted to help him. But in helping him, I knew it would sound rude. But I wanted to tell him, I'm like, hey man, you got to look at my website before you call me. You got to do your research. Tell me why you want to shoot for me. Tell me what value you will add to my team or by assisting or shooting with me. He just had nothing to really say, and why would I be interested in hiring him? Do you guys realize how many people want to assist professional photographers? A lot. Most of them do nothing about it, but a lot of them really do. If you're going to call someone, make sure you know what they shoot for a living. Tell them why you want to shoot for them, what you offer, not just what you want to get out of shooting with them or learning from them. What can you offer? So that would be my advice. Other things I think of event photography jobs. I know there are still studios that are hiring. Most photographers these days are not part of a studio. We're in the era of the independent photographer, the photographer that basically does everything on their own, and they are their studio. But there are a few studios out there which I'm not a big fan of, to be honest, because I think they're not necessary, and typically if you're working for someone else, all the money funnels upward, and so it's not going to be an ideal situation. Can you get the same experience working one-on-one with a photographer being their go-to? I don't know. Probably not. For me, when I've had people shoot for me, I really take them under my wing. I put a lot of energy into them. I'm a natural teacher. I love teaching. And so when I have a second shooter or assistant, I really invest in them. Now, I do have one situation I feel like it didn't work out in the end, where I felt that I was taken advantage of, and it may be true, who knows. But in the end, I stick to who I am, and I didn't let that ruin the experience for me. But I do realize I am very giving, and maybe I need to be a little less giving at times. But typically, I think you'll find much more of a mentorship relationship if you find an individual photographer willing to take you under their wing or hire you as an assistant. Now, if you think event photography jobs is a thing where someone's going to be like, oh, you want to be a photographer, here's a job, and I'm going to pay you, and that's the end of that. Maybe if you want to work at the mall, if they still have those photography studios where they're hiring kids practically, because everything's set up, they're just a monkey or a cog in a machine. That could be a thing, but for the most part, there are very few jobs where if you don't have experience that you can walk in and just start getting a paycheck for showing up. It's typically going to be a situation where you need to build a portfolio first, and if you don't have one to leverage a job out of, you probably need to assist first. Now, a lot of small photography studios also don't even have money to pay you to assist. If it's worth it to you, consider volunteering. I'm fine with that. I have opinions about volunteering or working for free. I don't think you should work for free anytime someone should be paying you. Someone should be paying you if they are charging their client for a second shooter or an assistant. But sometimes there is no budget. They can't do it. They don't even need an assistant. And that's a good time to volunteer and just be a person making their job easier. There's low expectations because you're not paid. You're there, you're helping, and you're learning. That could be a really good experience. So those are my thoughts on event photography jobs. I've talked about it before on my channel, but again, I'm trying to answer very directly questions from the internet. If you guys want more resources, as always, you can go to mickmehlman.com, go to my resource page, and you can get a lot more information on event photography.